cookies, and welcome to another video. Before I get started on my choose your own adventure post, or my take on it, because I wanted to do it in my sewing book, I thought I would take some time to do a little bit of play in here to sort of warm up and get used to the space again. Jumping from journal to journal is fun. I love it. I do it quite often, but before I do it, I generally will work in that journal before I do something like the choose your own adventure, just to get a feel for the space again, because obviously my journal is a lot smaller than this, and I journal differently in here, like I create differently in here, so jumping from style to style is always fun. And I've got so many pages sort of half worked on. I do need to also collect some ephemera for the choose your own adventure video, because the medium is ephemera, so I have to do that, which will take me a little bit of time. So I thought I would get this video done first so that I can just sort of ease my way back into my sewing book journal. I've got a few pages, like this one needs some work, this one needs some work, and obviously I can just generally start new ones. I think that's the whole purpose of just bouncing back and forward between everything. I just kind of don't want to dedicate one bit like this video to one spread. I kind of want to work jumping back and forward, which is how I naturally journal anyway. And it means you can see me work in a whole heap of different ways. So even this page needs work. So we will get there. I just put him in my other journal just the other day. Like the original copy of him is in my other journal, which is interesting because he's one of my faves. I'm not sure where I'm gonna go. I love this spread. This thread really reignited my sort of feelings for this journal, and I want to keep that sort of alive. And so I am considering laying down a bit of groundwork on some new pages. I need to get through a couple more of these pages till I get to like the papery ones. So this glossy stuff is gonna have to be not cut up, but like covered up, because it is glossy and stuff will just repel off it. I am gonna move that sort of out there so it's not in the way. But I will need to go get some ephemera out of my stash. I have bits and pieces sort of nearby, but all my magazines and stuff are in the studio. I'm in my dining room, so it may sound a bit echoey because my studio lights are set up here so that I can do a bit more filming than usual, because it's been so grey here in Australia the last couple of days, so my lighting's all out of whack. So hubby's dragged out my studio lights, which I don't do very often because they're a pain in the butt to get out. But while they're out here, I'm just at the dining room table, so it does sound echoey because my dining room has a really high ceiling, and I noticed with the sound when I'm editing doesn't sound the way my studio does, because there's a lot of stuff in my studio, so it kind of works as an echo chamber. Like it's not as echoey in my studio because I'm surrounded by art supplies, and this is a very open space with a really high ceiling. So that's the only downside to filming in this area, but it's the only place that my studio lights fit. We are in the process of trying to figure out how to suspend my lights from the ceiling in my studio so that I have them set up 24/7, so that if I need to film or want to film late at night, I can without stressing about lighting. But I actually need to move one of my studio lights a bit closer because I can see that this side is not as well lit as this side. So I will do that before I start filming, but that's enough babbling. I think it'll be nice to just hang out. I really want to do the cover, but I think I might leave that until I'm absolutely 100% sure about what I want to do. My spine fell off the other day when I was moving it from one room to another, so I was thinking about watching Johanna's video on how she did the cover of her journal series. Like she was doing the start to finish, and she did like texture paste and stuff like that. I've never done anything like that, but I'd be really interested to see if I could pull that off with this journal, but do it in a pink instead of a vintage color, or something really bright and sort of pastel-y and kawaii. I don't know, that's kind of where I'm thinking. Maybe we'll see, because this journal is going to have quite a lot of color in it. I don't want to do a vintage cover, then you open it up and it's like, psych, it's full of circus rainbows. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I need to go get some ephemera. I need to take my cardigan off, because if I work with paints, being a left-hander, I will just go all the way through it. Ask me how I know. Personal experience. This page I think I might leave for the choose your own adventure, because it's got this sort of color, the colors that were picked, kind of, sort of. The lavender part is in here, and a little bit of the yellow. So when I open it up, I think that this would work well for this, for that theme. So I might leave that one. I think I may like start by prepping these pages, and my phone is ringing because my mama is calling. So I will answer that and get right back to you.
I try to figure out who I am. Not sure what I'm doing here. And the days don't work out the way I thought they would. And before you, there was no one who understood. Never found somewhere I fit in. Until I met you, I was feeling lost. But you're the one who can make it go away. All you have to do is look at me. Sometimes I can't breathe, but it feels like you're the one who saves me. When I try, but don't succeed. Yeah, it feels like you're the one who saves me. The one who saves me.
I'm trying my best to hold on. It's not easy, but I'm feeling stronger with you. And the days don't work out the way I thought they would. And before you, there was no one who understood.
Sometimes I can't see, but it feels like you're the one who saves me. When I try, but don't succeed. Yeah, it feels like you're the one who saves me. The one who saves me.
I'll give you my everything. It's not much, but it's all I have.
You know we could run to a place where we belong, but I need you there with me to go on. Sometimes I can't see, but it feels like you're the one who saves me. When I try, but don't succeed. Yeah, it feels like you're the one who saves me. The one who saves me.
Okay, so I got a little distracted. I did my painting, and then I was watching Romany, who linked me one of her videos for When Frogs Sing. I am a patron of hers, but she was watching my video on my sketching and suggested that I look at Emma Block, and I already had the book. I bought this book a while ago. I'm not even sure if I've shown you guys the book or not. Anyway, The Joy of Watercolor, and I always try and pick up a book at Kinokuniya. And she was talking about her illustration and how I was worried about perspective and things like that because it's something my brain does not compute it, and how Emma's urban sketching or sketching of buildings was very 2D, very flat, but very lovely. And it's very much the kind of thing that my brain sees and loves and adores. And she was creating, see, Romany has a different idea. She is all into perspective and detail and is amazing and so fantastic at urban sketching. You should check her out. But she was doing this one in her stream, and I was sitting there all thinking about doing it and going, yeah, maybe I should follow along. And then I thought maybe I could try it. This is me avoiding doing urban sketching in collage. And I was getting out papers from my Flow Paper Lovers book, because a lot of them come with these colored papers, as you can see here, so all different shades. And I was trying to recreate some of the building in collage, and then I was going to go in and draw all the finer details with pens and things. I don't know if it's going to work or if it just looks too flat. I'm not sure I'm liking where it's going. I thought I'd test it off camera first to see if what I was doing was making sense. But that kind of gives you a disadvantage to see what kind of thing I'm doing. I don't think I picked the right colors. I mean, I'm trying to work with the colors that were in the magazine. And so she had, like, as you can see, let me open it back up. 195, I think it is. Well, that's when it starts. I would have to sort of tint this with colored pencils because I don't have a color that's sort of close-ish. Well, maybe that. Maybe I just picked the wrong shade. But I don't know whether I like the look of it collage, but I want to explore that possibility. That's sort of floating in the back of my mind on creating buildings with paper. I've saved a whole heap of this sort of stuff on a Pinterest board because it really does interest me about, you know, creating buildings and things out of collage. But I think it's because I'm using all the one tone of paper that's probably doing me in. I thought about maybe using the pink. I mean, I don't have to copy the colors exactly, but I really like the look of this. But maybe I could use some of the pink in there. And then I think the straight lines thing is getting me as well. I did use a paper cutter to cut my, even though they're not even, because I couldn't be bothered with that sort of stuff. That sort of stuff is not me. But I could definitely see this as a tip-in, like as a flap. I don't think I'd want it as a pasted on image because it takes up so much room and because it's so flat. I mean, maybe once I do all the details and things, this is the whole point of experimenting and playing in your journal, is to try and do different things. And I thought it would be a cool idea. This is such a lovely book. It's got so many little ideas for you to try. It's got step-by-step things. It shows you how to do a whole heap of stuff. I really thought it was just lovely to look at, and that's kind of why I picked it up, because it just was beautiful to flick through. And obviously there are things in there that I love the idea of. And so I haven't had this book for very long. I've had it for probably about a month. But with the amount of time that I get to spend looking at books and things is very, very minimal. So I haven't had a chance to have a look, like a proper go through and trial some of the ideas. So I've just spent like 20-30 minutes watching some of Romany's video, which was lovely. So I don't know whether I'm going to continue going down this path or whether I give up on it or not. I think maybe with some detail, with some like brown pen and stuff, it could look really cool. I mean, the basis of the windows, yeah, they're not even, but meh. I think it could work. It's not going to be exact because I've obviously made my building taller than hers, so the stairs and things won't be there, but the building itself I could make happen, and then draw in all the window palings and things and all the what do you call it, the details with pen, maybe. But I do really like her concept, and Ro was right to sort of ease my way into urban sketching, trying not to think about all the perspective and all the craziness, that I should start doing things as like how I see it in my head, like 2D sort of thing. And I like that concept. That was a good one to listen to. Ro's always good. She's always good for anchoring me when I feel crappy. So I had this piece here because that was where it was. Then there was another piece that was longer. So when I 2D it down into paper, my brain sees it just fine. But when I have to draw it for some reason, I just have issues. But when I have to cut it out into paper, I see the shapes a lot easier. So maybe I have to approach urban sketching the way I would collage and block things in. And I think what happens when I try and draw is I get so bogged down by the details that I get overwhelmed by the whole bigger picture, instead of going, okay, well, I can do this bit and I can do this bit, and this shape goes like this. So I think if I was to try again, because I want to, I don't know whether I will actually make it happen or not, try and do some little haunted house illustrations for collage sheets, but it might not happen because I always second guess my skill. See, even that, the tone color looks so much better. Maybe we could go here. That helps a bit better with a different color, although I probably should cut things more straight. But that's the other problem with urban sketching. I don't do anything straight, so I'm forever failing at the straight lines. Like Ro got out a ruler to draw her copy of this house, and I was like, I don't know if I've got time for rulers. Like, I legit don't think I have time for rulers. My brain doesn't like straight lines. It just doesn't. We could do wonky houses. We could just embrace the wonk. Okay, I'm gonna stop here because my little boy, he's not so little anymore, what am I saying? My bigger human, Lighty's gonna be home very soon. I spent a long time talking to my mum and catching up with her, so I feel like I've wasted a bit of time because I didn't work while I was chatting, which is silly, but I think I'm going to explore this concept while I work in this journal. I also want to document some of my patches for my jacket. So this art journal is very much about colliding art and real life. I'm just getting my patches. And I'm about to start in the studio vlog that you'll see at the start of next month. I'm going to start working on my denim jacket for Japan. So I've got a whole heap of patches that I've been collecting. I don't know if I've shown you guys my little patch collection. I've got a Harry Potter one. I've got my Bambi one. I've got my Raven one. I have a Rainbow Heart. I have two Sailor Moon ones in the circle form. I have a Mickey. I have a star. I have a Bing Bong flower. I have New York. I need to get a Japan one. And then this is my back patch. So I obviously will continually add to my jacket, but I want to get these onto my jacket before I go to Japan. But at the same time, I also want to put some of these in the scanner so that I could put some of these into my art journal. So I've always said that my sewing book journal and this type of journaling is where art and life collide. So I want to scan these and size them down and have them in my journal pages. So I am also going to do that on this page. I'm going to do a lot of things. This is the one thing that I enjoy the most, is fitting my life into a spread like this and figuring out ways in which I can collide an art piece with real life stuff, with stuff that sort of connects to me. And I find it so fun trying to work them all together and make it look beautiful. That's the one bit that is the most struggling, is to try and get it all to look cohesive, like it all was meant to be together. But I think that's part of the puzzle, it's part of the fun, it's part of the challenge. So we shall see how I go, whether that idea is going to work or not, or whether I am losing my marbles and it will look terrible. I don't know whether this is going to look terrible or not. I think maybe with some shading, some colored pencils, some markers and things, I think it might look quite lovely. Or it'll look crap and it'll be another one of those moments where I cover up, you know, 50 minutes worth of work because it's hideous. We don't know. We never know. But I'm willing to try it. Even thinking I might ink the sides of these windows in my StazOn and give it a bit of a tint around the edges just to give it some depth and some shadow. I think I might do that. Even the edges of the actual building. My battery is flashing at me, so I need to go put you guys onto charge, scan these while that's charging, and do a little bit of tidying because there is just chaos everywhere I turn, because I've been working at this desk for too long and the chaos is absolutely getting to me. So I'm going to pause here, get all those bits and pieces together, and then see how we go. Hey, are you working in your sewing book? I know a few people have opened theirs back up since I've started playing in mine, so it's been really, really lovely to see. I hope that you guys start it or continue on with it because it is a fun thing, and I'm sad that I spent so much time procrastinating in not playing in this thing. So I feel like I've missed out on the experience of playing because I didn't like some of the pages, and I'm always telling you that you can change it up if you don't like something. So I have to listen to myself maybe once every 100 times, and this is that one time.
I wake up from the sunshine on my face, so dehydrated, don't know what to say. Who's sleeping by my side? What did I do last night? Can someone make this headache go away? Yesterday was supposed to be quiet, being to myself and sit in silence, until I got a call. My friend showed up at my door. They wanted me to go out for a while. We were dancing in the dark with a feeling in our hearts. Felt like we had it all. We were dancing in the dark. We were dancing in the dark. Whoa, oh, 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 whoa, oh, 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 whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, 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 whoa, oh, 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 whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh. Every morning after feels the same. I know I only have myself to blame for drinking way too much. I guess I got caught up. Can someone make this headache go away? We were dancing in the dark with a feeling in our hearts. Felt like we had it all. We were dancing in the dark. We were dancing in the dark. We were dancing in the dark with a feeling in our hearts. Felt like we had it all. parts of you. Oh my, our bodies interlace, slow and easy. And I can reach you from a distance. I can, so beautiful. I can hear you within the silence. We will dance away the gloomy days right here. We are silver line, one of a kind, you and me. Stay close when it rains. Let me keep parts of you. Hand in hand is how we sleep every night. And I will watch you, breath after breath. Hold on, so beautiful. And if you fall, I will catch you. We will dance away gloomy days right here. We are silver line, one of a kind, you and me. We will dance away the gloomy days right here. We are silver line, one of a kind.
Clearly this is not exactly like the picture because I've decided to put one window down the bottom because I'm lazy, and there's two more down here. So I'm not copying it like exactly the same, but it just got the same sort of feel. If you notice, I did change up the paper to a pink instead of the apricot-y color. I just thought it worked a bit better. I will leave the apricot in for the top layer. I just think these colors look nicer together, and I obviously need to add the top part of the collagey bit and do all the line work on there. But it's coming together. I'm not gonna like film every single bit of me putting it all together because a lot of it is me just slowly drawing lines and things. I do also really like that the back of this is a cherry blossom, so I can keep that as a tip-in. I will make this a tip-in so it does flip because I just think it takes up way too much real estate on the page, and I don't want it to be the focus, I guess. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with the actual pink. I am adding some yellow, sort of yellow ochre pencil in there just to give it a little bit more color, and it adds more depth to it. I mean, collage is very much, when you're doing it this way, it's very flat and very two-tone. That is why I came in with my ink pad and stuff, and I'm doing the line work and I'm adding pencil and things because it just gives it more dimension and makes it less flat. And because it just looks so much better when you've got those extra colors in there, that sort of pencil texture. It doesn't make it such a 2D flat paper collage thing, which can work sometimes, but I wanted it to have more. I think these lines across it are a bit sort of, I know that's where the window paling is, but I'm going to come in here with some brown pencil, which I don't have, or maybe even some Moonglow watercolor. The thing is, I'm not quite sure how watercolor is going to work on this paper. It's from the Flow magazine, so I don't know how much is just going to sink in. I might grab some of the papers that I've already pulled out of the book and test some watercolor over the top. Otherwise, I would just go in with some colored pencil, because obviously in this one, she's put like little shadows and things on there. And I obviously don't have those. I also need to put in the little flower box because I think that's a cute little addition. But I'm not going to put the stairs in. I think I'll leave the steps as like out because I haven't also put these bottom things in, because at the end of the day it's a tip in and I don't want to have it elongate down any more than it already is, because I still have to put the roof on. But I think it's a cute little experiment, something different to try and build something from nothing, and to sort of experiment with a little bit of urban sketching, but with a twist. Like, I don't know if I would do this all the time because it's a bit time consuming, but I can definitely see it being an interesting take on urban sketching, especially if you're like me and are still dipping your toes into it and sort of... I'm not going for perfection either. That's the other thing. I'm not going for straight lines. Obviously, my outlines are very wonky, but that's who I am as a person, and I think I wouldn't want to change the way that I draw normally with very whimsical lines and very stay away from the ruler to become an urban sketcher. I think if I was to incorporate that sketching style into my normal work, it would definitely be freehand and just eyeballing everything, and that may make my drawings less effective because they are not as polished and things are not going to line up. But I don't know, I think that's why I've put off urban sketching for so long, because my ability to draw straight lines or line things up, even with a ruler, is like next to none. Like, I've never been able to write straight, and I've never been able to rule a straight line. Even if I was to sit there and do the dots, you know how we do dots at each end, I could never get them to line up and it would still be wonky. And I don't know, like, my mum always used to laugh at me and she's like, how did you pull that off? Like, how did you make that not line up? And I'm like, it's just a gift. It is just a gift. So I don't think I would worry myself with the stresses of trying to make everything line up. I don't have time for that. But I do like the concept of urban sketching, and I love buildings. I love old buildings so much. When I lived in England for a very short time, the buildings just really made my heart sing, and I loved all the cobblestone paths and all that sort of thing, and that sort of stuff is not really prevalent here in Australia. So it's such, I mean, there are some buildings in the city that are obviously heritage listed, so they still have that beautiful old worldly look about them, and they're stunning to look at. And I just, every time I go into the city, I always beeline for all those beautiful old buildings, because it's not really, you can't see them everywhere. So I do love the look of them, and I hope to one day be able to draw them properly. And I do also really like the fact that Rose said I don't have to have perspective in order to make beautiful drawings, because she knows how. Rose is like my little cheerleader behind the scenes, my cranky cheerleader, but a cheerleader nonetheless. And she's always telling me that I can do stuff when I go, oh, I can't, and she's always telling me, yes, you can. You just need to put your spin on things. You need to stop trying to be perfect. You need to get perfectionitis out of your mind, and then I just need to attack things with my eyes, with my style, and know that I shouldn't expect everything to be perfect. And obviously I think that's probably why I think society makes you think that if you're going to do something like this, if you're going to put it on social media, if you're going to have it in your journal, it needs to be perfect, especially if you are considered an influencer, or someone who is very in the public eye for a certain thing. And I think that really deters creativity, and it makes you not experiment, and it makes you not want to try anything for the fear of failing, because failure is like the biggest no-no. But I find when I fail at something, I learn from it. I find a different way of doing it. But I still, in saying that, I still also don't like to fail. And I think me trying things or avoiding aspects of creativity because I don't want to fail or I don't want to be bad at it, or I say, well, I don't have time to learn this skill, I need to be good at it now. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I just need to get over myself, pretty much. Oh, I shouldn't have put that pencil down yet because my pen, my fine liner pen, is not happy that I did that. Not happy at all because it's like a waxy pencil. That's okay. Like I said, we're not going for perfection here, guys. We're really not. Or I'm not. But I like the fact that I can get the look of something that's quite quirky and cute and not have to stress about proportions because I'm not doing it for the proportion's sake. I'm literally doing it to have some fun. This piece has got lots of lines and I think I might ink that piece too because it will really help with continuity. Anyway, that's enough chatting. Now that I've had a little bit of a rant, told you what I'm doing, here I am going, I'm not going to film all this bit, but I'm sitting here ranting away at you guys. But I know you enjoy listening to my thought processes and why I do things and why I don't do things. And I know the last few videos has been a lot of me just doing a voiceover. Because I've been pushing myself to create on command when my heart hasn't been in it. And so trying to talk through that process when I'm like forcing myself to create is probably not something that anyone needs to listen, and that's why I was doing voiceovers instead. And I'm slowly getting there. It has to go this way, doesn't it? Oh, come on, Connie, get a clue. I'm slowly getting there. We're working towards a more stable version of myself. Stable is probably the wrong word, but my thyroid is well and truly broken. And if anyone knows anything about having a thyroid problem, it affects so many aspects of your body without even thinking of it. And I always knew all this sort of stuff, but you kind of don't think about it and you go, well, it's not my thyroid, it's just me doing this, it's just my personality trait, it's just this, it's just this. I made a lot of excuses, not thinking that it would come down to my thyroid being severely broken. And I had some doctor's appointments on Friday. I shouldn't be drawing on this book. Let me just put this out of the way. And had some blood tests and had a whole heap of, I did the adult thing. I did adulting on Friday. And I had a whole heap of stuff done and checked and had a ball rolling on a few other things. And it turns out that my thyroid is really out of whack. My levels are supposed to be between 0.5 and 1, which is what my doctor said she'd be happy with. When my test came back, they came up at 15, which is horrendous. And so being cold all the time, memory loss, muscle pain, aches, hair loss, depression and anxiety completely heightened. There's a whole gamut of things that go along with a thyroid that's not functioning properly. And I was not putting all those symptoms together. I was just looking at them as also weight gain. That's another thing, which is something else I'm fighting. And I just thought, oh, okay, I'm depressed, so I'm emotionally eating, so I'm putting on weight, and then this and this and this. I thought it was all that, but apparently no, it's my thyroid being all broken. So we are sorting that out, and hopefully it does take about 6 weeks for the meds to sort of do its job, well, to start leveling everything out. 4 to 6 weeks is what it says, because it's a very slow acting med. So we'll see how we go. But it was nice to have some answers. I already knew my thyroid was acting up, and I wasn't doing anything to really help it either. I wasn't being actively great with it either. I think there needs to be pencil in there. Those lines look too just drawn on. There needs to be some texture. So I'm going to go grab a brown pencil, because I seem to have bought, is that brown? Nope, that's violet. I seem to have bought all dark purple pencils and not a brown one, and then I'll put you guys back into speed because that's enough blabbering for one day. I literally haven't even put a page together. I'm sitting here putting a building together as a tiffin. Oh my goodness. Quality content here on Patreon.
Putting our life in boxes, erasing the memories so you won't notice. I'm taking the time to focus. You're by yourself, I'm by myself. Wish I could solve your problems. They're stuck on my wall like neon paintings, and I'm so tired of being honest to everyone by myself. I do it so well. We were so good at flying, but we can't keep flying. We keep getting stuck on the wrong side of the mountain. We were so good at trying, but we can't keep trying, 'cause we only end up on the wrong side of the mountain. We gave it so many chances. When we saw the signs, we just kept dancing, and the nights always seemed so endless. Thought it would last, now it's in the past. We were so good at flying, but we can't keep flying. We keep getting stuck on the wrong side of the mountain. We were so good at trying, but we can't keep trying, 'cause we only end up on the wrong side of the mountain. And you I will always remember, when I'm dancing around with someone better. Until then I will pause forever. Keep taking my time through boxes and light. We were so good at flying, but we can't keep flying. We keep getting stuck on the wrong side of the mountain. We were so good at trying, but we can't keep trying, 'cause we only end up on the wrong side of the mountain. We were so good at flying, but we can't keep flying. We keep getting stuck on the wrong side of the mountain. So good at trying, but we can't keep trying. We only end up on the wrong side of the mountain.
Moon, I'm there soon. I'm leaving quite early tomorrow morning. Undercover, baby, is what you ask of me. Soon I'll be disguised. Shooting star, I'm without a safety net. Give me a ride. I'm going far beyond where the sun sets. Dear, I'm no longer scared. Glow brings me comfort. I'm filled with light. Tiptoe, dance with me through the shadow play. Moon, I'm on my way. Shooting star, I'm without a safety net. Give me a
You tell me you're scared. You tell me you're weak, but I know you're stronger than what you think. And I know it's hard. It's rough, but we'll make it through, and I'll back you up. Wherever you're going, I'm going too. I'll follow you through the and the blue. Whatever the mountain, we'll climb to the next. Honey, I'm with you through life and to death. You tell me you're nervous. You say you're afraid. I wish you could see that.
We're going under, and there's nothing we can do. You've become me, and I've become you in this story. It's such a heartbeat pounding in your chest. The final hour before we let it go to rest.
Alright, I think I am going to stop here because I'm at the point where I'm stuck. I need to add some journaling under here. It's not my favorite page, but it could do with a few more bits and pieces, I think. I just finished adding this guy here and some journaling spots here and under here, and I left this blank. Not sure what I want to do under here, but I'll do something. But I like the layering aspect of it, and it looks like they're watching Boo walk off to her camp, which I really adore. So I like to make sure that there's journaling spots kind of like in here. In this page I didn't leave as much. I mean, there'll be a journaling here as well. My aircon's just kicked in. I didn't find a way to use this. I mean, I could put it down here, but I think it needs to go on a different page. I wanted to test out this little guy, and I had this acetate sort of sitting around. I need to finish the line, giving some sort of definition to the plants, but I can do that a little bit later on. Oh yeah, I think it turned out alright. It's not amazing, but I think it is a total process when it comes to this sort of journaling. And you can see my cup. I think that it will definitely evolve and change as the pages change. This is the beauty of the sewing book, is that it will obviously transform and alter and grow and change as I do, and as my style. Well, my style is pretty much set, but there'll be things that I want to try out that I haven't tried out today, and I've gotten to the point now where my brain's had enough and is like making decisions that aren't very nice. And like, I was going to put this tag. I had this tag for here and I thought that was just a bit of overkill, and I've got no idea where else I could put her. I was going to put her on the house, like have her standing in front of the house, but she just didn't work. I didn't want to force it in here as well. I mean, I could. She kind of works, so I'm trying to merge a bit of the vintage and a bit of the bright and colourful. I don't know if I've successfully done that, but it's a work in progress. Definitely not a finished spread, but I didn't think I was going to have a finished spread today. I just thought that I would work on it until I had enough of looking at it, and I'm at that stage now. And I can tell when I start procrastinating and drawing these leaves and things that my brain's kind of like, I don't know where else to go just yet, and I don't want to keep creating for the sake of creating. I know this video is well long enough, but it definitely will add some journaling, maybe even some bold text like in here and stuff like that. Maybe. I do like how this guy came about. He was just a last minute sort of thing. Not too sure on his hand. That's all right. There is a I mean, essentially I have this. I was trying to work out if I could use it today, but no, I think that looks a bit too creepy. Obviously my hands aren't that amazeballs, and I've still got this picture of Lygie, which I could definitely put down here, because I did want to add this photo, which I might actually do now. I know that covers up a huge amount of space, but he didn't make it in. That still works. And then maybe I'm gonna have my lined pink paper around here somewhere. I have scraps of it. I don't have a big piece though. I could layer these together and create a little journaling spot down here. Talk about his little movie night last night, because Boo was at camp. She's home now. And we went and rented Detective Pikachu, which I was really like, I'm not really into this. This is going to be pretty meh. But I absolutely adored it. It was completely different to what I expected. And Elijah actually took my phone off me and told me that I had to watch it without my phone in my hand. So I had my phone privileges revoked while we sat and watched it as a family. Well, family of 3 for the night, which I thought was okay. I'll let him have that pass. Yeah, see, I'm kind of at the fiddly, I don't know where to go stage, so I'm going to leave it here. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've enjoyed my random attempt at altering something that I'm not too comfortable with just yet. I mean, I'll keep trying, I'll keep testing and practicing, because that's the whole point. You won't get better if you don't try and practice. But I thought this was a nice take on urban sketching without actually doing the hard yards of urban sketching. But yeah, we're slowly rolling through the last few pages of colour. So that is it from me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.